what really nudged me and made me really, really get serious about multifamily more so than in the past is that the tax savings. When you do fix and flips, you get what's called short-term capital gains in addition to your regular tax bracket. And so my average flip from the time I sign to the time I sign is probably about 120 days, 150 days, somewhere in there. And so we were making large chunks of money, but we had no protection from the IRS. And so I was making money, but I found myself turning around writing bigger checks to Uncle Sam. So multifamily was able to help that.
This is another episode of Ask the Multifamily Expert. And today I have with me Tommy Jones. I'm super excited about Tommy because we've gone a long way. We've been through ups and downs, down and up, I don't know, Tommy, if I told you that our first two multifamily was bought from fix and flip. We did a fix and flip and we used the funds to buy the multifamily. So this topic is very, very, very exciting for me. And know that looking at how people are finding it difficult to invest in multifamily, fix and flip is one of the ways that people can use those funds, not just to invest, but also to save on taxes. So today we'll be talking extensively about how you can navigate investing in multifamily with the proceeds from fix and flip. You know that I like both businesses, but I believe that multifamily gives you long-term financial freedom. But you also need money to invest. It's not cheap. It doesn't come cheap. And one of the ways is using fix and flip, which gives you a good chunk of money. I can say that for a fact. It gives you good money if you know what you're doing. And today I have with me Tommy Jones that's going to walk us through the process of how you can navigate fix and flip and multifamily, because he's one of the industry experts in both industries. So who else would be better off to tell us how we can go through such processes? I would like you, Tommy, to please introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, so my name is Tommy Jones. Like BB said, I'm uber excited to be here to kind of share my investing journey and talk about the hybrid of how it vacillates between fix and flip as well as the multifamily, and how, in my humble opinion, you actually need both strategies in your long-term portfolio unless your last name was Rockefeller.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your background, how you started your fix and flip, and how you also started your multifamily. What made you transition? I know you're still fully big time into fix and flip, but how did that journey come about?
Sure. Great question. So I started my journey in real estate a little over a quarter of a century ago as a mortgage banker. And so I've been a licensed mortgage banker, a residential mortgage banker for the last 25 years. And so probably about 17 years ago, I started my journey into the single family fix and flip world. And to be honest, BB, I just kind of stumbled upon it. So what I was doing is I had this investor. I was his loan officer, so I was doing the mortgages on the back end when he would find a buyer. And so when you do an FHA, a government loan, especially if the seller has owned the property less than 180 days, there's additional paperwork and documentation that we have to get. So I would get the closing statement to see how much he paid for the house. I would get copies of the receipts for the improvements that he made on the house. So I could see the acquisition costs, I could see the rehab costs, and then obviously I could see the disposition, what he was selling it for, and then I can do math. And so I was seeing that this guy was making a lot of money, but not only was he making a lot of money, BB, he was providing home ownership predominantly to first-time home buyers, and that really struck a chord in my heart. It allowed me to possibly to be able to help at a different level, uh, other than just helping them with their mortgage. So it allowed me to play a bigger role in making sure that middle income America got a piece of the dream, which is home ownership. So it was a natural progression for me to get into doing fix and flips. So I've been doing it now, fix and flips, a little over 17 years, and we've done a little over 300 properties at this point.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of property. When did you decide to transition from fix and flip to multifamily? What made you take that decision?
That's a great question. So, I had always longed to do multifamily, and I thought it was a lot harder than what it was. And so I met this amazing young lady named BB Okafor. And when I met her, she was in the process of purchasing a couple of multifamily deals, and she allowed me to kind of shadow her in the process. And what I learned, BB, is that a lot of the vetting, a lot of the legwork, it's the same, it's just bigger numbers. And so once I realized that, and I was very comfortable with teaming up with you and a couple of other people, I I jumped in. Now, what really nudged me and made me really, really get serious about multifamily more so than in the past is that the tax savings. When you do fix and flips, you get what's called short-term capital gains in addition to your regular tax bracket. And so my average flip from the time I sign to the time I sign, it's probably about 120 days, 150 days, somewhere in there. And so we were making large chunks of money, but we had no protection from the IRS. And so I was making money, but I found myself turning around writing bigger checks to Uncle Sam. So
Mm.
multifamily was able to help that.
Good. Now that you've gone to that, I want to ask you, what portion of your fix and flip process do you invest in multifamily? Do you just take all? Because I know fix and flip is very transactional. You need to reinvest, keep reinvesting and getting it. So do you do a 1031 exchange? And I would like you to explain that to the audience, what just on the high level perspective,
Sure.
what a 1031 exchange is, or do you
Yeah.
just take it and put it in your multifamily without doing an exchange?
Okay, so I don't do a 1031 exchange because I want the flexibility of spreading it out. I just literally closed on a deal the other day. The proceeds were $96,000. So if I did a 1031 exchange, I would have to roll all of that money over into like a like kind investment, right? And then the money is tied up for a longer period of time. Whereas what I can do is put a portion of that into multifamily and then a portion of it roll it right back into my next fix and flip deal.
So how will multifamily help you to navigate the capital gain if you're investing, let's say 50% of it into multifamily?
That's a great question because I'm able to do cost segregation. So when I get the cost segregation from the multifamily, it offsets my 1099 as well as my W-2 income. It allows me to harbor a lot of that money because I'm able to offset.
Yes. I have a very interesting question. What criteria do you use to decide whether to reinvest fix and flip profits into new flips or into multifamily? At what point do you get to, let's say you made profit of 100,000 and a decision to do a new flip, and you also have a decision to do a multifamily. What are the criteria you will look at before taking that decision?
I look at the deal. I look at the multifamily deal because typically on a multifamily deal, your money is going to be tied up for 3 to 5 years, right? So I really want to look at that deal and see what other deals that I have coming down the pike and how can I leverage. Is it more impactful for me to take that 100,000 and invest it into 3 or 4 different fix and flips, or roll it all into a multifamily deal? And that's usually a conversation that I have with my CPA, depending on what time of the year we're in.
Let me just add more to it. Like you said, especially the time of the year, Periods like September, October, November are the period where people start to think about their tax liabilities and all that. So in situations like that, let's assume you've done a lot of fix and flip from January to, let's say, August, and you've accrued a lot of capital gain. Would that not be a right time for you to say, okay, I've accrued this, I need to write them off. I need to start investing in multifamily to write them off. What do you think about that?
Yes, I mean, you're 100% right, BB. If I'm sitting on a pile of cash, I have to really be strategic and say I need to start deploying this into some long-term tax strategies that are going to give me some type of financial reprieve based on the success that I've had in that particular investing year. You're exactly right. Yes.
I'm going to ask you a question specific to market analysis and selection. How do you evaluate the potential of a multifamily property to ensure it aligns with your investment goal?
That's a great question. So I look at a couple of different things, BB. I look at number one, the market. I look at the asset, but even more important than that, I look at my partners. I look at the track record of my partners. I look at who's heading up the deal. And, I'm at a place now that I get pitched all the time on multifamily deals, and I say no more than I say yes, because at the end of the day, the asset's going to be what it's going to be. The market's going to do what it's going to do, but it's the jockey, it's the team. It's the other general partners. Are they like-minded? Do they have a level of grit, stick-to-itiveness, and they know how to weather storms? Because this is basically a marriage for the next 36 to 72 months, and I want to make sure that we're strategically aligned. So the partnership is more important to me than the asset.
Good. I will be asking you a question regarding financial structuring because I know you have a mortgage background. I would like to know your perspective on this. How do you structure the financing of multifamily deals using profits from fix and flip projects? How do you structure such?
Well, so again, when I go into my long-term wealth building or wealth planning, strategic planning, multifamily plays a huge part in that, BB, right? Because I tell people all the time, you can get rich in fix and flip, but if you want to be wealthy, you need to be doing multifamily. It's a slower climb, but it's a more sustainable over time climb, right? Instead of the ebb and flows that you deal with on the fix and flip. So I definitely employ multifamily as a long-term wealth strategy.
I didn't get that. I think I lost you for a bit.
Okay. I said I definitely employ long-term multifamily investing into my long-term wealth strategy.
Yeah, I got a question from someone. What are the key components of your multifamily investment strategy that has contributed to your success?
Well, again, it goes back to the market. Where's the property at? It goes back to the asset, but probably 50% of my decision making, over 50% of my decision making has to do with the general partner team and how they're assembled. What is their core competencies? What are they great at? What are they good at? Where can I add value? So that again, the general partner team means the general partner teams means more to me than the actual asset, to be honest. Because let me clarify what I mean by that. Because I've seen great assets that I didn't partner in because of the team that was leading up the deal.
There's this question that just came in and it's very, very interesting. You said something at the beginning. You said for you, fix and flip and multifamily are almost the same process. It's just that the other one is bigger money. This question aligns with that. How do the operational aspects of multifamily investment differ from fix and flip projects? And how do you manage these differences? Because I know you're into the both of them.
The difference in the both of them is that the fix and flip is short term. Right? I'm usually going to own that asset for less than a year. So the decisions that I make don't have to be as how do I want to answer this? The decisions that I make are more short term versus if I'm looking at holding a a multifamily deal, for example, if there's some issues with the roof on a single family home, depending on the numbers, I may decide to patch the roof because I'm gonna actually own it for less than 12 months. However, if there are some issues on a commercial roof, I may decide to go ahead, or my vote may be to go ahead and totally replace it, because we're going to hold that asset anywhere from 36 to 72 months, depending on our exit strategy. So it depends. So depending on how long you're going to hold something determines your strategies as far as what you're willing to do and how much money you're willing to put into it.
Very, very interesting perspective. So based on what you said, you are saying that because the both of them have different plans, like different hold time, you might take some decisions differently from each other. Like what you just said, making some capex repairs, you might decide not to do that. For those of you that don't understand what capex repair means, it's capital expenditures, things that have long life terms and all that. So what Tommy is trying to tell us today is that he will make his decisions based on the business goal, what the exit looks like and all that. I have another very interesting question. It's about long-term vision and goals. If you have heard me, I really talk more about vision, goals, plan, business plan. That is my bread and butter. So this question is from me to you. How does investing in multifamily property fit into your long-term investment goals compared to fix and flip? And let me tell you the reason why I'm asking this. I started my business with fix and flip and vacation rental. And down the line, I decided not to do it any longer because it no longer aligned with my business plan. But I remember we had this conversation over at lunch 2 years ago or so when we were discussing about the benefits of fix and flip. And I told you, I said, I'm done with it. And you were like, no, I'm just starting. Based on that, we both have different views about how we see our fix and flip strategy to our multifamily. So my question to you is, are you going to stop anytime soon, or is something you continue doing?
Okay, so I don't myself stopping in the foreseeable future, and let me tell you why. Because you said something early on, is that you need cash, right? You need liquidity to invest. And so, like I said earlier, unless your last name is Rockefeller and you have a huge trust fund or something, you're gonna hit a wall where you're gonna tap out and not be able to invest in any more multifamily deals because you don't have the liquidity, you don't have the savings, you don't have the self-directed IRA, you're just tapped out. And so what fix and flip does, it allows you to constantly keep a pile of cash readily available for the next great long-term investment in multifamily. And so for me, I just see that I'm going to continue to do that because, I'll say when I make an investment in multifamily, it's a great investment. It's a great wealth building tool, but it is a long term. It's a long play. It's not short term. And so fix and flip allows me to create the cash to be able to leverage and take advantage of the great multifamily opportunities that are afforded to me. So that's why I think I will always do both.
I think I'm getting to see things from your perspective. Can you share a case study from one of your investors where they successfully used the fix and flip profit to acquire and to develop a multifamily property?
One of my students, she's a doctor in North Carolina, and so she did a fix and flip, and I think she made $86,000 on the fix and flip. And so an opportunity that me and you presented to her, BB, came up for a multifamily, and so she took 50,000 of the 86,000 net profit and rolled it over into a fix and flip. Now, the great thing about that, when she got her K1 statement, I think a negative $48,000. So with her being a doctor, a W-2 doctor, she was able to take that, basically subtract $48,000 from her $190,000 base salary, W-2 salary at the hospital. So that was huge. So that's why I love fix and flip. That's why I love multifamily, because basically in that scenario, she was able to invest in multifamily for free.
Yeah. So what advice will you give to other investors looking to leverage their fix and flip profits for multifamily? What advice will you
The
give to
advice I would give them is that you need to really look into multifamily. You need to really look at a owner operator like a Blue Ocean that knows what they're doing, that has the integrity, that has a track record, and you need to look at the cost savings that it can create for you long term as adding fix and flip. I mean, I'm adding multifamily to your overall investment portfolio.
Are there any common pitfalls to avoid when transitioning from fix and flip to multifamily? What are the things you need to watch out for?
Time. It's not as fast. You have to level set expectations. You have to understand that you're going to write a check and you're not going to get a check back in 6 months or 8 months. You may write a check and you may not see any dividends for 12 to 18 months, depending on what it's going to take to stabilize that asset. The
Tommy,
biggest difference is time, I would say.
very, very interesting perspective. Tommy, it was really great having you today. Truth be told, I'm considering going back to fix and flip sometime in the future, not now, but my multifamily is the center and the center of it all. But talking to you today is a good thing because it's going to open up the eye of so many investors that are looking at investing in multifamily, but they don't really know how because some of them feel that they don't have the money or they don't even know how to start doing it or how they can make it sustainable. But talking with you, and because I see your progress, I see those things you do for your community. I see them every time, and I know every one of them is very happy because they are able to have this financial freedom from fix and flip. And I know you're also educating them on how to reinvest that money or part of it into creating sustainable wealth, which is multifamily. Tommy, how can they connect with you? How can they reach out with you for them to tap into the opportunity you are giving to your community?
That's a great question. They can reach out to me on social media at Talk to Tommy. That's my IG handle, or they can go to my Facebook page at Wealth Through Real Estate Texas, and they can send me a message there, or they can actually call. My phone number is 817-874-9680. They can reach me on that number as well.
Can you walk us through the process for someone that does not have a lot of money and wants to start fix and flip? What are the opportunities that you present to them to assist
Yeah,
them in their journey?
there's a couple of ways to get started. BB, the number one way I would say with a person that has little to no money would be wholesaling. I've been over the years, I've made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars wholesaling deals, and wholesaling is nothing more than finding a property, tying up the asset, going under contract, and then just selling your interest in the contract, And so that's a great way to get started because you don't need any money. The other great thing about my community is if you find a great deal and you have a great deal, we will joint venture with you. We would do a JV deal, and we will bring the funding and the expertise. So don't let the lack of funds stop you from starting your journey in fix and flip.
I'm so glad to hear the processes you're helping out your community to advance in their fix and flip journey and all that. It was good having you here today. I'm sure the community will really enjoy this, and I'm sure they will reach out to you. We will post your information on the comment section. So anybody that is looking at reaching out to you or wants to start this can go right there, get your information, and contact you. The idea of this event or this particular series is to show people that gaining your financial freedom is possible. There are different
Yes.
ways you can do it. Fix and flip is one of the ways. And we are also inviting someone that is coming with triple N. She's going to tell us how you can use your triple N investment to come into multifamily or the benefit of doing both and getting to your financial goal. So fix and flip, like I said earlier on, we used it to buy two of our multifamily properties. I am a testimony to that is possible. And those properties are one of our best and they still exist. And all the proceeds came from fix and flip. That's it. You can create your wealth with just simply contacting Tommy, and Tommy knows what to do. He's going to walk you through the fix and flip process And from there, it's not just going to leave you hanging there because you're going to have some capital gain. It's going to also help you through the multifamily to come in to start investing and starting on your journey. Thank you so much, Tommy. It was really, really exciting. I'm happy to see
Thank
you.
you, BB.
I'm happy having this conversation with you. When I invited you, I was like, it's very interesting and very good to have a family on board. Let's have this conversation and chat and talk to people that you don't just need to walk to come in. You can do other things to come into the multifamily space.
That's right.
Is there any final word you have for the audience? Anything you want them to go home with at this point?
Yes. What I would say to the people that are watching, to the people that are listening, is that uh, if I were to have a regret, if I had a regret about real estate, the regret would be that I waited, that I started late. I started later than what I wish I would have started. So for those of you that are interested, whether it's single family or multifamily or a combination of both, don't wait. Do your research. Don't get analysis paralysis, but get in motion and stay in motion. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much. Thank you, audience, for creating out the time to be here. You can reach us on Blue Ocean Multifamily Group on Facebook, and we also have educational products on our YouTube channel. The name again is Blue Ocean Multifamily Group on our YouTube channel. We teach everything from acquisition to asset management to getting a deal under contract. Anything you need to know to start your multifamily journey, we have it. For next week, we'll be inviting someone from the funds. One of the critical aspects of starting up your multifamily journey is capital raising. That is very critical. Without it, you move nowhere, you go nowhere. So it's very important for you to know how to fund your multifamily deal. So we'll be inviting someone from a fund manager, someone that's created a fund and is using it to bring in people. Is using it to fund his multifamily deals and all that. So he's going to tell us the entire process on how you can create a fund in starting your multifamily journey. Thank you all for coming to this episode of Ask the Multifamily Expert. And I hope you had fun and I hope you enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Tommy, once again. And thank you all. Have a wonderful day.